Air system insufficient flow, bank 1, which there's only one bank anyway, so. All right, underneath the car, the air pump is located right here, and the connector for that is right here. When we start the car, we should hear the air pump. It should sound kind of like a hairdryer going, and we don't hear that air pump in this vehicle. So what we're gonna do is disconnect this connector right here. The red wire should be the power wire. The brown wire is the ground. We're gonna hook up the test light right there, start the vehicle, and see if we have power and ground. You can take a test light just like this. Just double check, make sure your test light works. This is just a 194 bulb and socket and a couple of wires. It's definitely a good test light if you're gonna make one, but that works fine. So we're good. So just pop this connector off. Could use a screwdriver or a pick or something. There we go. Slides right off. And there's no corrosion in there, so that's good. And it doesn't matter which way the test light goes, just as long as the wires aren't touching each other. Now we just gotta start the vehicle and see if the light comes on. So no lights came on. So what I'm gonna do now is check the fuses. I'm just gonna hook up a circuit tester to the battery. I don't normally like circuit testers, but it'll do the job. All right, so I'll just go through, test all the fuses. All right, I printed up a wiring diagram so I kind of see how this works. So there's a relay right there for the air injection pump. So there's a relay and then a fuse number 27, which should be a 50 amp fuse. Well, if you go over to here, this should be fuse number 27, and it's got a 40 amp fuse in there. So that's not right. That should be a 50 amp. And this is the relay for the air pump. Pull that out. Let's see if I have a tester for this. Check this out. If I'm just gonna raise this fuse up just slightly, and if I take a power probe, which I know a lot of people don't like power probes because you can cause some serious damage if you don't know what they're doing. So if I touch on the fuse right here and send power, this should send power to the air pump, and if the air pump comes on, then we know everything from the fuse to the air pump is good. So, ready? I'll send power to it. And there we go, you hear the air pump coming on. So that's pretty cool. Actually, I can test this relay. So we just need to find the key on the side. So we have between 1 and 2. So 1 and 2. So we can take the power probe again, send power through 1 and ground on 2, and see if it clicks. Does click. So if I click the relay with this here, this should light up red. And if it doesn't, that's good. That means our relay is bad. Ah, it lights up red. That's not good. The air pump works. Doesn't come on. Alright, I gotta think about this a little more. This 15 amp fuse actually controls the relay. So let's take a look at that one. And it looks fine. Alright, with the key on, I do have power there. That's interesting. Yeah, all those fuses test good. Kinda weird. Alright, just for the heck of it, I am gonna swap these relays. Let's see what happens. They're the exact same part number. Let's start it up, see if the air pump works. So I know the pump works, I know the air pump works, I know the relay works, I know the fuse is good, the other fuse is good. The next thing with the air system could be this pressure sensor right here. There could be a leak in any of these hoses as well, but the air pump's not even kicking on, so my assumption is that this sensor is shorted out and that's what's preventing the air pump from kicking on. Or it could be this valve also. So we can test this valve. All right, so we got a black and white wire and then a yellow or orange wire. So the black and white wire, black and yellow, should be the ground. Should be. Just make sure that's not a brown wire. No, it's like tan and black. I'm gonna hook the ground wire to that one. And I got my power probe. See if we can get this to click. All right, it clicks. So that's a good sign. Why don't I start it up and with it running, see if I put power to it, if I can hear exhaust coming out of there. Let's see if that works. Yep, so you can hear the exhaust when I open that up. That's a good sign, that means it's not plugged up. I tested everything in the system. I tested the valve back here. I tested the air pump, that's working. The only thing I really can't do a good quality test on is this sensor right here. And it's actually kind of a shut-off switch, like a pressure shut-off switch. So, and this is a common problem with these vehicles. I just wanted to confirm before I just bought parts and tried them out. Just take these two screws out. So this is pretty much how you can test it if you don't have a Volkswagen scan tool or even a higher end scan tool where you can test this system. So those are out. Just slide the sensor off. There's an O-ring right there. All right, now just put these screws back in, plug it in, see what happens. I had the opportunity to do this about an hour ago, and it was sunny out and somewhat warm. Second I decided to do it, it's raining out. At least it's not cold. All right, those are snug. You could also have some leaks, like if you have an air leak, then you're gonna end up with a AIR code. So plug this in. The engine's a little warm right now, so I'm gonna let it cool down and then I'll clear the code and then try it and see if I can actually hear the air pump come on. All right, the engine's cooled down. It's hours later. It stopped raining. Now let's start it up and see if we can hear that air pump come on. And there it is, I hear it. I definitely hear it pumping. That's awesome. Yep, that's the valve opening, and it just shut off. Sweet. So that works. So it looks like I fixed the problem. If you need any of these parts, I will link them in the description along with some tools. And I don't know why I doubted myself, but it fixed it. Exactly what I didn't want to happen. Drop the screen. Got it.